Every piece of advice you've ever gotten about finishing your first game is technically correct, although it's missing one crucial piece of information. Everybody says to keep your first game small, but nobody has ever told you what small actually means. In this video, I'm going to walk you through a simple 5-step process that will finally give you a concrete definition of what a small finished game actually looks like, so you can stop guessing and actually ship something. And if you want a full guide, which will take you from where you are now to having the knowledge to ship your own original game in Unreal Engine, check out my Zero to Ship roadmap. There's a link in the description of the video to that roadmap. Make sure to grab it before we dive in. So, here's the thing. Every single beginner who picks up Unreal Engine gets told the same thing. Keep it simple, start small, don't overscope. And honestly, that's not wrong. But it's also completely useless because nobody ever tells you what simple actually means. There's no unit of measurement, there's no checklist. Just keep it simple and good luck. It's like telling someone who has never cooked before to just make something easy. No recipe, no guidance, just keep it simple. They're either going to stand in the kitchen, staring at the cupboards, doing nothing, or they're going to spend 3 hours making something that completely falls apart. The advice wasn't wrong, it just had no definition behind it. That's exactly what's happening with your Unreal Engine project. Keep it simple isn't bad advice, it's just incomplete advice. Without a concrete definition of what finished actually looks like, every decision feels reasonable, and the finish line keeps moving further away every time you open Unreal. So that's what we're fixing today. And the best place to start is figuring out what simple is not. Now that we know keep it simple needs a real definition, the best place to start is by defining what simple is not. Because your current game idea probably already has at least one feature hiding inside it that looks innocent but secretly carries months of work underneath. I want you to run your current idea against every single one of these. Make sure your first game has no story, no puzzles, no dialogue, no multiplayer, no open world, and no boss battles. If your game requires any of those, any of them is already too big for a first time project. Story alone means you need to have cutscenes, dialogue systems, and branching logic. Having a boss AI means you need to have behavior trees, understand the navigation system, create a perception system, and much more. Multiplayer is an entirely separate discipline that even professional studios dedicate whole teams to. Every single one of those looks like a weekend of work from the outside and turns into months of development when you open up the editor. These aren't features to add later when you've got more experience. They are category killers for first time projects. If your current game idea requires any of them, the idea needs to change before you write a single blueprint node. And I know that list felt brutal. If you're sitting there thinking, but that's literally everything, what's even left to make? That's completely normal. It feels like I just took away every interesting idea you've ever had and replaced it with nothing. But here's the thing, that reaction is actually the problem, not the list. See, in 1960, Dr. Seuss's publisher bet him $50 that he couldn't write a successful children's book using only 50 different words. Seuss could have said the constraint was impossible and walked away. Instead, he took the bet, and using nothing but that tiny pool of words, he wrote Green Eggs and Ham. It went on to become one of the best-selling children's books of all time. The limitation didn't kill the creativity, it forced him to find a different, better version of it. And that's exactly how limitations work in game dev too. Your first game doesn't need open options, it needs a tight constraint that forces you to be creative within a boundary. The best first games ever made weren't built with freedom, they were built inside a box. So, the real question isn't what's left after removing all those features. The question is, what can I build inside the box? And that's exactly what we're going to answer next. So, what is left? What does a small game actually look like in concrete terms? The best place to look isn't at modern indie games, it's at the arcade era, specifically 1962 to 1982, before games had the hardware to be complex. These were games built under extreme constraints, and they still defined the entire medium. Look at what they actually contain. Pong. A ball hits your paddle. If you hit it back, you can score a goal and you can win. If it passes your paddle, you lose. Space Invaders. Shoot the aliens and you win. An alien reaches the bottom, you lose. Frogger. You reach the other side, you win. You get hit by a car, you lose. Pac-Man. Eat all of the dots, you win. A ghost touches you, you lose. Every single one of those games has exactly 3 things: a player, a win condition, and a lose condition. That's it, that's the whole game. No story, no dialogue, no AI behavior trees, no open world, just 3 simple concepts that a 5-year-old could understand. And that's your definition of done. If you want to make your first Unreal Engine project, I want you to write those 3 things. What does the player do? What does winning look like? And what does losing look like? If you can't write those 3 lines clearly, the game isn't small enough. And if you want a full roadmap of every stage from going from 0 to shipped, there's a roadmap in the description that will help you do that. So now you've got your idea scoped, but I know what your next worry is. This sounds incredibly boring, and that is a valid worry. It's one of the reasons people may want to continue to add more and more features to their game, and that's how it can bloat and go out of control. But here's the thing, personality is not scope. Theme is not scope. And the difference between a game that feels alive and a Greek box has almost nothing to do with how many features it has. Jonas Tyrola made a video called "Can we make this button fun to press?" And the whole premise is exactly what it sounds like. One button, that's the entire game. But he spent time making that button feel incredible. Visual, feedback, camera feel, every time you pressed it, something satisfying happened. No extra mechanics, no additional scope, just a single interaction that felt genuinely fun to experience because of the feeling layered on top of it. That's what Juice does. Screen shake, sound design, visual feedback, none of that requires a crazy amount of additional scope. You can take your Pong clone and make it feel completely original through camera feel, sound, and personality alone. Juice the core loop, not the feature list. Get those 3 things working first: a player, a win condition, and a losers condition. And then layer feeling on top without touching the scope. And once you've done that, you've actually shipped something. You'll be in a club that most people who start game dev never join. So, now you have a concrete definition of what a small game actually looks like. The do not attempt list, the arcade era design, and the 3 things a simple game has: a player, a win condition, and a lose condition. But knowing what to make is only half of the problem, because even with a perfectly scoped idea, most beginners still stall out because they end up learning things in the wrong order, get lost and confused, and never make it to the finish line. That's exactly what the free 0 to ship roadmap fixes. It maps out every single stage you're going to go on as a beginner to shipping your own original game. You can check it out, there'll be a link to it in the description of the video. And if you want to go deeper, watch this next. 5 things I wish I knew before I started Unreal Engine. It'll be here